Hey, welcome back to the Ping Pong Flix Show. My name is Chris Wong. This is episode 494 of the Ping Pong Flix Show. Aloha Friday. Usually I don't do videos on Friday, but today was a very special day. Let's start off with some Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman 1984 rather, revealed her golden armor suit. We've seen it in the trailers and things like that, but I like to point it out. It looks fabulous. I like it. It looks great. Look at those wings. It almost looks like real wings, but I think it's CG'd on. I could be wrong. I believe this comes from the Toy Fair. They're talking and they're showing the Wonder Woman 1984 toys along with Power Ranger toys, which I want to kind of talk about on my Power Rangers channel. So check that out. But I definitely love this look. It looks mythic. It looks incredible. And I kind of miss that part of DC, right? Like Aquaman, James Wan's Aquaman, the suits, mythical, right? It looks awesome. It looks incredible, larger than life. Wonder Woman, larger than life. Batman, larger than life, right? So let's talk about the Batsuit reveal. Yeah. There you have it. That is Matt Reeves, the Batman, a Batsuit reveal in full daylight. Not with Robert Pattinson in the suit, although it's incredible how this jawline. He looks so much like that's Ben Affleck under there, and Ben Affleck is now a stuntman. But no, it's a stuntman for sure. Yes, indeed. This is the new bat suit. Now, there are some great things about this, and but more I can't hide my feelings. I'm really not too happy with this one. I'd say I can appreciate the tech-based part of it. It does very look like a samurai or a those armor ninja, almost like that Batman Ninja cartoon. You see a lot of darts here. Reminds me of Black Widow. But it's I don't know. I just see it like it's not really Bruce Wayne that made that suit. And I get it. People are defending it like crazy right now. How that's just the first suit before he gets his real suit, before he gets his gray and black suit or gray and blue suit or whatever. And I'm like, sure, that's great. But I'm talking about this right now. And there are also people who are saying this is a stunt suit, Chris. This is not the real suit. This is the stunt suit. Of course, it's going to have like hockey pads from the dark reference to Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight. But sure, I get it. It's going to be fast. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be dangerous, and he can't wear all that stuff, right? And you're like, okay, sure, but this looked incredible. It was Richard Citrone in the suit. That looks like the suit. So I don't think this suit, the real suit, if you want to say the real suit, is going to be any different, right? It does have that collar that you see in the leaked reveal, although it was so blurry and so close up you couldn't see if he had a cape. I'm pretty sure he's going to have a cape. I'm pretty sure it's going to be CG'd on like every other Batman, movie. They would have that flying in the background. It's hard to do that when you're to make it look nice and comic booky in real life. So I get that. I totally get how that would be put on afterwards. I guess my biggest problem is the shoulder pads. I don't know. I just think it just looks like, those people who rides bike marathons that I see once in a while. They just wear those, motorbiking pads. And I get and you're like, well, that's year one, Chris. I'll get it. Okay. But this is just my honest to God reaction to this. And that's what I'm going to tell you. The ears are kind of weird as well. They're a little, I don't know. I guess it's just so narrowly pointed up. The face mask is very ovalish stylish, but I like to say though, I like that it doesn't look, at least I don't see it, look like someone, it's like seams put together in a cloth. So I like that it looks more rigid. And you know what? I actually kind of dig the lens on his. I don't know if he's going to be wearing it only. He's only going to be wearing this just for the motorcycle ride, so it doesn't get in his eyes, or if that's truly how he's going to be. That would be different than the other interpretations of Batman so far, where you can't see the eyes. I know in that teaser shot you do kind of see the eyes when he looks up, but it is see-through, so maybe a certain light you can see that. But are they going to do the white eyes or not? I don't know. But it reminds me of, like, yes, it reminds me of Daredevil. They have that same thing. It kind of reminds me of Watchmen as well, Night Owl. And it also, kind of like the Justice League Batman when he got a little bit tactical with the eyes. So this part, I don't mind this part right here. This part, I don't mind because this is kind of like Arkham right here. It's just this other stuff. It's just like, well, yeah. I mean, not a fan of it with all the straps here and there. But, considering people are avid that this is going to be just a stunt suit, I'm going to, say, let's see the real one then. This is why Matt Reeves should put out a real, a distinct, an actual full frontal image of this is Robert Pattinson in the Batman with the cape and cowl. This is what he's going to look like. And then that way, when people see behind the scenes, they're like, okay, well, we saw what the official looked like. I guess this is just a stunt suit and all this other stuff that you want to talk about. And I'm like, okay, well, that's fine. That's fine. But for right now, I'm not too crazy about it. So, also, apparently he's a Catwoman. Well, there's two writers, right? She was writing front and writing in the back. And obviously that's a female. And people are saying this could be Selena Kyle pre her costume, right? Pre her Catwoman look, Catwoman outfit, unless she has the cat ears inside her helmet or something. But yeah, the people are saying that is Catwoman. I can see it. I mean, you're kind of like together in this movie, doing their thing. So almost very, reminiscent of the Long Halloween. I hear there's also jack-o'-lanterns lying around so to represent that it's Halloween. So there's some of that. But there you have it. Well, anyway, I don't know. What do you guys think about the suit? Are you guys crazy in love with it? You have your certain issues with it or whatnot. Also, the bike. The bike is the blatantly Batmobile bike with that the the things that go up there, which is kind of cool. He's like, oh, this is the Batmobile, not the Batmobile, the Bat bike, right? The Bat cycle, and it has that, and it's so. And I guess it could lend to that being prototypey, right? And having the suit be prototypey as well, which lends more to the year one than year two, I guess. But we'll see how that works out. Again, need the official, like Matt Reeves going to take a picture of something like Zack Snyder, how he does it, or even on an Entertainment Weekly magazine, some kind of magazine where most reveals used to happen. Whether it be Superman Returns and The Dark Knight and things like that, this is how it looks. We kind of need that, and I think Warner Brothers really sucks at that, and I think they really should go into more of that. Get people hyped up, and then rather finding these behind-the-scenes things online with poorly lit or not the right suit or whatever, right? I think, But anyway, whatever. It's that's Robert Pattinson's The Batman. And then if you're wondering, what does Ben Affleck think about Robert Pattinson's Batman? He even goes into a little bit more detail. He has that movie coming out called The Way Back, right? And so there's a lot of interviewers getting to talk to him about a whole bunch of stuff, including including something about Justice League per se, or Batman. But this is what he had to say about Robert Pattinson the Batman, and also his own Batman script as well. Check it out.
I told you before, I loved you as Batman. I thought you were a great Batman.
Thank you very much.
And I'm genuinely bummed that we're not going to see the Batman.
I think Robert's a great actor. He's going to be great.
He's going to be absolutely fantastic. Can you tell me what the Batman would have been?
Well, we had a script. It was a whole thing. Really what it was for me was, and I like the script. I wrote it with Geoff Johns, who I have a lot of respect for. It just so happened that I had done a couple of those movies, and I kind of lost my passion for it. You know what I mean? I kind of lost my passion for telling those stories. I got interested in telling stories more like this, and it just seemed like, very clear to me that if it's not the most important thing in the world to you, you're not going to make a very good movie. A movie deserves to be made by somebody who's dying to do it and can't wait. And that wasn't me at the time, so I moved on.
Guys, I genuinely thank you so much for...
So interesting. At first, I was kind of discouraged by when he talked about how, I don't have the passion for it and all that for Batman. But then you hear it. He says, at that time, and I moved on at that time. He put that in there, so I thought that was kind of interesting, and it's almost like he's leaving it open for maybe a possibility that if there was any way or any possibility he could return, he could potentially return. But at that time, he wasn't. We already knew about the whole story, how they messed up Justice League, how he couldn't get his Batman off the road. He does kind of talk about Geoff Johns in here, and I thought it was interesting. I should talk about that. And I want to look at it, and someone pointed out to me that it was kind of interesting that this came out almost, not in response to, but almost like coincidentally after Film Gob revealed the other day, actually just yesterday, was it yesterday or the other day, about, the things that Toby and Geoff Johns had done to kind of get Ben Affleck voluntary to leave the project and or getting Matt Reeves behind his back and stuff like that, right? So I thought that was kind of interesting. But I totally understand he would say this, as that was a Warner Brothers film. This is a Warner Brothers. Way Back is a Warner Brothers film. He is talking to reporters about this movie, and so as a businessman, in a political sense, a professional, his reps would probably, even himself, I don't know if anybody reps him, but he'd probably tell him, hey, if they do this, we kind of have to do certain answers for certain questions. And I like that he kind of just threw that Geoff Johns in there almost as a coincidentally responding to what people were talking about, where I've seen the tweets, right? I've seen it says, F Geoff Johns, pass it on. I've seen all that. And maybe they've seen that as well and then tried to say, hey, don't get into that and kind of calm that down, because you're representing our we help make your movie, we're distributing your movie the way back. It's time to kind of just lay off that a little bit. So whether that really happened with Geoff Johns, who knows? I've heard it did. Other people in the industry have heard it did, but I think only Ben Affleck and Geoff Johns knows, and Zack Snyder and all those people were there would definitely know what happened there. And also the thing about how it kind of is like saying, well, Warner Brothers wants people to get excited for Robert Pattinson as Batman, so go ahead, just say that Robert Pattinson, you're excited for Robert Pattinson to be Batman too. I'm sure he's genuinely excited as well. But I thought that was kind of like a really quick, snappy, political answers right there, just to get it back, just to kind of not burn his bridges, if you will, with the distributor and the production that will be releasing the Way Back movie with Gavin O'Connor directing, and so I thought that was kind of interesting that he pulled that through. But the most interesting for me is saying at that time. Like at first I was discouraged, but when I heard he said at that time, it tells you that at that time. But what about now, Ben? What about now? And we got to thank Cinema Blend, right? we got to thank a couple people from Cinema Blend. I think Sean O'Connell, of course, who wrote this article, and I think it was like Michael Reyes or something who actually asked the question. So on for the way back, right? For the way back, the Cinema Blend got to ask certain questions, and one of them is about Ben Affleck tweeting released the Snyder Cut hashtag on November 17th. This is Ben Affleck's incredible response. Here it goes. I didn't know about it. Zack was like, hey, they're doing this thing. And I said, Zack, I love you and I support you however I can help you. I do think that movie, having two directors is a very weird thing. And for Justice League, the director had a family tragedy. And so you have a kind of a cow's body with a horse's head, a little bit with two directors a lot of times, for better or for worse. I do think Zack's cut should be available. I do think Zack's cut should be available. How is this not blowing your freaking mind right now? Twice has Ben Affleck come out in support of Zack Snyder. Right there, guys. Zack, I love you. I support you. However I can help you release the Snyder Cut. And he really thinks Zack's cut should be available. So, Zack's cut should be available. That means there is a cut. Duh. He believes in Zack's cut, right? However, I'm going to support you. I love you. If they have any problem, they've already mended it, and he's in full support of Zack Snyder, full support of the movie, and possibly, maybe, after the movie comes out, it does really well. People are like super excited to see what happens next after you see Darkseid and the Boom Tube, wondering what is next in the trilogy. Ben Affleck could come back. Maybe, he says, hey, Zack, how do you want me to go about this? You want me to continue? I'm all up for that. And then we can do more movies. We could do Justice League 2, Justice League 3, right? And you're kind of wondering, well, what are you talking about? He just said he doesn't have the passion for it and things like that. He wants to move on, things like that. Of course he didn't have, and he said it in that interview at that time. He didn't say now. He didn't say, I don't have the passion for it now. I want to move on now. He literally said, the passion, I didn't have the passion for it, blah, blah, blah. And from then, and I moved on at that time. So, but now, maybe after everything's felt and done, if all the stars align, right? The movie comes out, people love it, people want to see more, people are subscribing to HBO Max or wherever, however this is going to come out, and they're going to be like, oh man, I want to see more. And Zack's like, guys, they want to see more. What do you want to give them, right? Ben, if you don't want to, put on the suit too much, it's okay. Richard Citron does all the action anyway, and you can come in and be Bruce Wayne and be in the cow and talking parts and stuff like that, and let you want to do that. And he could say, yeah, sure, Zack, anything for you, I support you, however I can help you because I love you. And that just gets me, oh, that feels so good. It feels so good to hear that. It feels so incredible. Sean O'Connell did tease that this is all he can give out for now. What the hell do you mean, man? Do you have more stuff in your hip pocket? I can't wait to hear more about possibly what Ben Affleck talked about Justice League. Maybe there's more to it. Maybe there's more about the Batman. But I think right now it's possible that he won't talk about too much about possibly coming back as the Batman if it was ever could be a thing, is that they want to kind of push the Robert Pattinson Batman movie right now. It's all part of marketing, and you shouldn't be too discouraged by that. So we'll wait and see. I do like the having it being synonymous with a cow's body and horse's head, may have been better with the donkey's head to represent Joss Whedon, and the cow being the meat, right? That's the meat, all meat, and cow is heavy and meat and protein, just like the Snyder Cut, just like Zack Snyder's Justice League, and that I cannot wait for. So great. Awesome. Thank you so much, Ben Affleck, for supporting the Snyder Cut. We all look forward to your movie, The Way Back. So just like Brian Coombe had proposed and SnyderCut.com had proposed today, that's a great idea. Maybe starting from February 29th, just like Brian Coombe had said, let's hashtag The Way Back along with hashtag release the Snyder Cut. In Twitter, it says no more than 2 hashtags, but you can have those 2 hashtags trending together. It works in conjunction, so that'd be perfect. We can thank Ben Affleck by watching The Way Back, supporting The Way Back along the side, letting him know who is supporting The Way Back, and that is hashtag release the Snyder Cut. So that's what I propose. I'm thinking the same thing as Brian Coombe and Snyder Cut, as long as many, many, many fans out there. This is something really special. So go check out The Way Back on the weekend of March 6th, and I will as well. All right, guys, well, thank you so much for subscribing. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great weekend. Bye.